Hi everyone, I'm Timothea and I'm CMO of Orion Protocol. It's a huge honor to be partnered with Fantom and the entire Fantom team and to be part of one of the fastest growing ecosystems in blockchain. And even though, as it has unfortunately transpired, I can't be there in person today, it's an absolute pleasure to be part of this conference with some of the greatest minds in the industry right now. So, why I'm here, albeit virtually, is to talk about Orion Protocol bringing unlimited universal liquidity to Fantom. But before I do, I'll first explain how this is possible and what universal liquidity really means. So, to me, the biggest issues in the industry right now are fragmentation, centralization, interoperability, and liquidity. I recently heard crypto being referred to as nothing more than a fight for liquidity, a phrase which I have now co opted as my own. And ultimately, liquidity is something that each of us in the industry need, whether as an exchange or an aggregator or a blockchain or a trader. But we've reached this point of peak fragmentation of the industry with increasingly different assets built on different blockchains, held on different exchanges, resulting in these incredibly siloed pools of liquidity. And while we are seeing a market wide focus on interoperability, we still don't really have the infrastructure to effectively bridge these siloed pools together. And as such, there is no single point of access to the crypto market yet. But that is what we're building at Orion Protocol, the first global decentralized portal to the crypto market via our universal liquidity aggregator. We're building on pretty much all major blockchains and aggregating liquidity from centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, and swap pools into one non custodial, chain agnostic platform for the first time. So, our proprietary governance mechanism, Delegated Proof of Broker, enables the first point of decentralized access to the major source of liquidity in market, centralized exchange liquidity, but without the need for accounts, without the need for KYC, and regardless of jurisdictional barriers. The latter being incredibly important at the moment with increasing regional restrictions. And this is all made possible via the network of brokers at our core. These are either high volume traders with exchange accounts or exchanges themselves, particularly exchanges that we've partnered with like crypto.com, KuCoin, Ascendex, MXC, and more. So these brokers will run Orion Broker software and automatically execute trades routed from our liquidity aggregator via their trading accounts on behalf of Orion terminal traders. I will add here that although our brokers are executing the trade on their behalf, they never get access to traders' accounts or funds, of course, as our smart contracts enforce secure conditions of exchange. So only if the order is filled by a selected broker will the transfer of assets occur atomically within the smart contract. But really, this network and its effect is a win-win for exchanges and for users. For many centralized exchanges, this enables the first decentralized point of access to their liquidity with zero cost of user acquisition, zero cost of development, and zero resources. While for users, this enables them to save arguably three of their most important things, their time, their money, and their assets. So traders will simply connect their wallet and trade across multiple exchanges, even those they don't have accounts with, getting the best price for their trades while retaining that all important ownership of their assets. Of course, we are not the only ones to understand the power and the value of aggregation. It's impossible to ignore the rise of aggregators right now, but while others are promising access to CeFi and DeFi in one space, none are truly doing so in a truly decentralized, standardized, or seamless way. They still require accounts or KYC for that connected, centralized exchange liquidity. So, we're the only protocol enabling global decentralized access to centralized liquidity, and therefore the only protocol that can really provide decentralized access to the entire crypto market. But while arguably a huge feat in its own right, aggregating market wide liquidity isn't enough anymore. standardizing access to assets, exchanges, and blockchains is what will be critical for mainstream adoption. So, with that said, Orion Bridge, launching in its first iteration next month, is the first truly decentralized cross-chain bridge working on peer-to-peer communication via our network of brokers without the typical layer of validators and stakers that are vulnerable to various attacks. And atomic swaps, while a well-known concept, are effectively implemented in a very small number of projects currently, but internally the bridge will utilize hash time-locked atomic swaps to create a cross-chain bridge without the delays, without the refused orders, and without the blocked funds that we often see on other bridges. And most critically here, the users don't lose ownership of their tokens until they receive the corresponding peg token on the other network. So this bridge will allow us to effectively remove the boundaries between blockchains for seamless chain-agnostic trading on Orion Terminal. So universal liquidity is cross-exchange, cross-chain liquidity that can be accessed universally, regardless of jurisdiction. Thankfully, the term universal is future-proofed for when Elon creates a colony on Mars with Doge as its central currency. But while our universal liquidity aggregator is at our core, we're not just an aggregator, nor just a trading terminal. We exist to provide liquidity solutions for the industry as a whole. Because we're focused on ensuring the sustainability of not only our protocol, but the wider DeFi industry, we're developing a suite of over a dozen B2B solutions for blockchains, exchanges, and crypto projects to enable universal access to this universal liquidity. Starting, of course, with Fantom. So beyond interoperability, one of the biggest barriers to mainstream adoption of crypto right now is friction. Crypto will have succeeded in market penetration when it becomes such a utility that hardly anyone realizes they're using it. And while we've come a long way collectively from a user experience perspective, we're not quite there yet as an industry overall, and DeFi is largely even further away from that. And as I've heard Michael Kong say, it's all about user experience. Fantom has put an incredible amount of focus on making it extremely simple for their users to interact with them intuitively within their wallet, or perhaps a more fitting title, their all-in-one DeFi suite. And partly this comes naturally due to the incredibly high speed and the low fees, but also due to the breadth of tools they're building and integrating for staking, for borrowing, lending, voting, and of course, for trading. So they've created one convenient portal for the Fantom blockchain. And we are taking this convenience one step further by enabling fWallet users to swap and trade this universal liquidity, centralized, decentralized, cross-exchange, and cross-chain directly from their wallet. So the setup is simple. Fantom is simply adding our SDK module to their code to tap into the liquidity of connected exchanges, chains, and assets on Orion. And in doing so, we are working together to remove friction by enabling users to get the best price across multiple exchanges directly from their wallet. We're enabling wallet users non-custodial access to centralized liquidity. We're providing wallet users with the least slippage of any solution in market. We're removing risk through eliminating the need for users to hold funds on a centralized exchange to access their order books. And ultimately, we'll be enabling wallet users to cross-trade Fantom ecosystem tokens with nearly any asset on any chain without the need for an external bridge and with the speed and transaction cost of the Fantom blockchain. So I suppose the question is, how far away from this are we? Well, we're currently underway integrating the Fantom blockchain into Orion protocol and into Orion terminal, enabling almost instant transfers and practically zero fees. The wallet swap SDK itself is in test phase with Fantom ahead of a number of updates to the fWallet as it becomes this all-in-one DeFi suite, or as I've heard Simone refer to it as a personal finance interface. And really, to me, this this partnership is a mutual force multiplier greater than the sum of its parts. Orion is bringing together previously siloed, isolated markets into one seamlessly aggregated order book. And Fantom serves as the infrastructure to bring the liquidity to the masses, enabling seamless access to these order books in a frictionless, immediate, and zero cost way. So together, Fantom and Orion will be unlocking universal access to universal liquidity, and we couldn't have found a better partner to kick this off with. So once again, thank you all so much for having me. I've been tuning in throughout the week, and there have been some incredible talks from a Binance cloud-powered Fantom exchange, which we're looking forward to integrating, to bots, to hackathons. And it's a pleasure to not only be a part of the conference, but closing it. And I'm sure I speak for everyone here in saying how much I'm looking forward to seeing what Fantom has in store for us next. So thank you again, and I'm sure you'll see us soon.